I love how you use like really strong close-up shots at the start, because it kind of like immediately draws your attention to the artist, makes it feel more relatable and like you're close to them, because you can see the motion in her face and the detail that the close-up gives.
What I learned from this first comment from my previous feedback from my audience of Ellie JJ was that the close-up shots at the beginning worked well, and this is something which I wanted to achieve in my video, because for a code of convention of contemporary R&B, it's important for there to be an aspirational quality or relation with the artist and the audience. So it's good that through the first 20 seconds of the video with the close-up shots this was achieved.
And I love that really bold shot of her mouth with her lip syncing and the lipstick, because obviously that's really strongly introduces the red colour that you use, and also it intimately connects you to the lyrics that she's singing, which is really important for aligning you to the narrative.
What I learned from this comment was that the close-up of just the red lipstick of her mouth worked well. Due to it being such an extreme close-up, it was difficult for me to make it an impact shot and for it to be dramatic and to work well, because if it was out of focus at all, this would be very noticeable. As well, I learnt as well that the colour of red, which was the main sort of branding colour for all my construction aspects of my artist, Ellie Smith, that this worked well, and it was noticed that red straight away was quite a key idea and a key theme. I used red due to the connotations of it being like love and hate, and the lyrics kind of being a fight to understand what is the difference in love and hate, and if she understands these emotions herself. So it was good that the lyrics as well translated like good through this close-up of the lips, and this as an audience could see this, and this is the effect I wanted to give came through.
I love the silhouette of her behind the sink. It kind of makes her look isolated and vulnerable.
I learnt from the comment that the silhouette of the sink makes her feel isolated and vulnerable. This is good because I wanted to, through using simplistic locations, I wanted the feelings and emotions to come across powerfully, as they should do in the genre of contemporary R&B. And knowing that my audience can see this and can relate to this is something I wanted to achieve.
I like the hand that kind of drags across the wall. That looks really good because it's sort of like, it kind of breaks up the narrative and the performance quite a lot, because obviously there's quite a lot of shots of her singing, which is really good, but it's nice to break it up, and that works well. But also it kind of makes you miss the artist, so then when you bring her back in, the impact's much greater.
Learning from this audience feedback of the hand going across the wall, it shows to me, and it makes me learn that my narrative was still kept vague, and it made the artist seem a bit more of a distance. And as well, this is something which is a code and convention of having more of a vague narrative. So I used a range of shots and close-ups and long distance in my narrative to make sure there was no strong storyline, and it wouldn't take away or detract from my actual video and the performance of the artist.
You portray a sense of like self-obsession really well too, with her in the mirror and her attitude and all her performance and the hand gestures, and it makes her look really, really confident, which is important for the conventions in your genre.
I strongly learnt from this comment from my audience feedback that one of the most important codes and conventions of my genre is to have a confident artist and to have a confident presentation of them, and to be a very strong independent woman due to the more contemporary ideas of this genre. And it was positive to see that my audience could see that this like artist was slightly self-obsessed and slightly more confident than might be what we see as normal. It was a bit more controversial and a bit more unique, and this is what creates a bit of a difference between this genre, and how it is not sexualising women as much anymore, and it's creating more of a new feminist woman, which is quite a popular idea in this contemporary world of media.
And the close-up, when you close up, then you go to mid-shot, and then you go to wide shot in the mirror. And her costume obviously is really good for the genre, red.
From this audience feedback, I learnt that my use of costumes created impact for my video, and due to this contemporary R&B genre, the use of fashion and costume is quite a big idea, and it creates quite the aspirational quality that I wanted to achieve. So it was good that I could learn that the costumes used were appropriate for this genre.
and quite contemporary as well. And obviously your genre is R&B, contemporary R&B, so it fits well. I love the graffiti shots. The location for that's really strong, and also I like how you cut really quickly, and you also cut each line and different as you go with different angles. It kind of sort of increases tension and heightens her emotions.
The graffiti location was one that I needed to incorporate into my video due to the genres of contemporary R&B and some others like hip hop having quite a synergy between graffiti and the genre, and as an audience we subconsciously kind of relate graffiti to more of these sort of music videos. So it was good to hear, and I learned that this location was seen through the audience. And as well, within this genre, we see in like Beyonce's videos and Georgia Smith's and Alyssa Cara's how the beat of the song is where the cuts are. So through my song, due to there being quite a strong beat, I needed to achieve this strong sort of cuts and changes to the beat well. And it was good that as my audience said that this was achieved, and I could learn from this that I know that what I wanted to happen in my video came through.
I love that shot of her on the car park. It's really good because you kind of like, as you move back with the camera, she moves towards you, so it's like she's kind of coming to you, and it feels like she's looking at you and directing everything she's doing to you, which makes it feel really personal and really confident and prominent, and her performance is really good. And I like the grading you've used as well.
I learnt from this comment that the effect I wanted to achieve on my long 45-second shot across the car park was portrayed to the audience the way I wanted it to, because I wanted it to create a gap in the song where there was something different, something a bit more unique, and to create this location to make it unique as well. So it was good to know that I achieved this. And as well,
and it's not shaky at all, it's really smooth, which aligns you much more to her, makes you feel really close, and illuminates empathy, which you would want. I like the lighting in the car. I think that's really strong because it portrays her in like quite a confident, again self-obsessed, quite over the top look. And you've also used like a slight low angle shot as well when she's talking to the girls, and that makes her look much more powerful and kind of intimidating, but self-obsessed.
The car shots at the end, I learnt from this feedback that due to the purple tone, which is a code of convention of contemporary R&B, there is a use of purple tones or purple tints throughout the genre. So using this within my car shots, I think amplified the confidence and self-possession my artist holds. And as well, within the car, it was noticed by my audience that there was a slightly low angle shot, so it sort of seemed like the artist was overpowering the audience, and once again presenting this sort of confident, sort of above attitude, and my audience could see this, and this was useful for me to know.
I love the framing of her under the sheet. That works perfectly with like her performance. And I like how she comes towards the camera on the last shot, and then it blurs from out focus to in focus. It like draws you away and into her. So yeah, that looks really good. And then I'll look at your digipack. So yeah, again, you've introduced the colour red really well. Like it's everywhere. It's on your CD, it's on her costume, it's on her lipstick. And you've also used it on your track list, which looks good because obviously you want to really attract attention to the names of the song, because that's what you're trying to sell, her as an album. And it stands out against the white, which contrasts really, really nicely. Yeah, the direct address is really strong, which is obviously important for attracting someone that would see it on a shelf. And it portrays the attitude really well, and her poses are really good with, again, presenting the attitude.
From this comment, I learnt that my red colour, which I used thoroughly through my whole production as branding, was noticed by the audience. In other places in my evaluation, I have indicated and shown pictures of the areas which include red, and I think it's quite explicit to the audience throughout all my products how the constant repetition of red is part of this artist and should be related to her. So it was useful for me to learn that as an audience this portrayed fruit effectively.
And then your advert again is incorporates lots of red. Her pose is really strong. Kind of makes her feel sort of aspirational because you've lit it really well. She's got really nice makeup. She's sort of looking down on you, so she's looking down on us as an audience, which kind of makes us want to be her, and portrays her as the thing that you're selling, which is really, really good, obviously, for your genre.
It was really important for me to learn from this comment due to, in contemporary R&B, the female role is now being shown as more confident and independent, and like how it has been in history. So it's important that my audience could see this and relate to this and see this woman as an aspirational quality that my predominantly female audience will want to be like and look up to and take their fashion ideas and their makeup ideas, which is something which now in the media world is something so much more popular that of an artist holds, is something what we want to aspire to be. So it was good for my audience feedback for me to learn that this is something I did achieve and I hit the codes and conventions well.
Yeah, lots of conventions of other adverts I've seen, like Georgia Smith and Alessia Cara. And you've used the same red from her top and her trousers, which is really good. It all works synergistically really well. So yeah, I love it all. It's really good. Well done.
The last thing I learned was that all three of my products of my music video and my 2 ancillary tasks of an advert and a digipack held synergy, and there was a clear relationship between them all, which was morely held from the red and the fierce poses of my artists. And learning from this audience feedback, this was successful.